Welcome back to the North Star Takes podcast with Bailey Policki and Jacob Liberta. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, especially if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan or Minnesota sports fan in general. And feel free to give this video a like so it can reach other Minnesota Vikings fans as well. Today, we're going to do our weekly Vikings game preview. This week, it's week 9 against the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, it's going to be a tough matchup, especially coming off of just a crushing loss to the Dallas Cowboys and their backup quarterback, Cooper Rush. So let's just jump right into it. I mean, obviously, Lamar Jackson, just the most insane player in the NFL, probably, just with given his skill set, how he's able to pass and run. Basically impossible to contain. And now the Vikings are without Danielle Hunter for the rest of the season. So do you feel that the Vikings are going to have any chance of containing Lamar Jackson in this game?
I think there's always a chance, but Lamar Jackson ain't a former MVP for nothing. So, and this is also one of the most prolific rushing attacks I would say ever, not just in the league right now, but ever. Just because I think they can consistently run the ball and run it at will, no matter who they're going against. So, you couple that with the way our defense has honestly played against the run this year, that's the recipe for disaster. But at the same time, I think we'll be able to sell out for the run and probably take chances as far as pass defense goes, even though our cornerback room is pretty thin as far as talent goes. So I think it'll really come down to, I think we'll load the box, but at the same time, will Lamar be on throwing the ball that day? Because if he is, then we're probably screwed because our corners, I don't think they're that great, obviously, as everybody knows. So I think if Lamar can throw the ball and do it somewhat effectively, then it's going to be a long day for our defense. But if the Ravens are really one-sided on Sunday, then I feel like we can do enough to at least neutralize it, not stop it, but like do a good enough job to keep ourselves in the game and give our offense a chance. Because I think our offense will have to put up some good points to sustain some decent drives, but because I think our defense, with the run game the Ravens have, that our defense could be on the field for a while if our offense is not, especially if our offense isn't up to par. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think it's going to be tough to contain Lamar Jackson. Having Danielle Hunter out obviously is massive. I mean, he's just a great all-around defensive end, not even just from a pass rushing standpoint, but from a run stopping standpoint as well. Looks like we're probably getting Michael Pierce back, so that's encouraging.
That's huge for the run defense.
But then at the same time, like Cam Dantzler's on the injury report now, and
Anthony Barr.
Yeah, Barr too.
Yeah.
Bashaud Breeland, obviously coming off another horrible game. So it's like, it's going to be so hard to trust the back end of this defense. And I mean, Lamar's not the best throwing quarterback in the world, but I mean, he'll expose you if you leave guys open. Like Rashad Bateman's back now for the Ravens. They got Hollywood Brown, which I don't think we have anybody that can keep up with him. So, I mean, it's going to be a really tough defensive challenge for a team that's kind of starting to struggle on defense here again.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think for anybody, let alone the Vikings, it's hard to really game plan for this Ravens offense. But at the same time, it's been done before. Obviously, I mean, even Dan Campbell's Lions really should have won the game against this Ravens team, and they just came down to Justin Tucker setting an NFL record for with a 66-yard kick. So I mean, it can be done, but at the same time, it's like the Ravens, they have tremendous success at home, especially in the regular season these last couple of years. I think their record with Lamar Jackson as the starter is really something ridiculous. I got to look up exactly what it is, but pretty sure their win percentage is over like 700 or something like that, which is that's pretty nice. So I would say, yeah, it'll be a tough task, especially on the road. But at the same time, I think there's a reality out there where we can get it done, but I think the chances aren't fantastic.
Yeah. It's obviously it's one of the toughest games on the schedule, just given the environment and the team you're going against. So
yeah, exactly. We all said this in the preseason, and like when the schedule came out back in May, that this would be probably one of the, you would argue, one of the most tough games on schedule, or one of the ones that you'd probably mark up as an L compared to all the other ones.
For sure. And we knew this was going to be a difficult stretch going into, the season, and we didn't know how good Dallas would be and with Dak, and obviously Dallas is really good with Dak. We should have beat them without Dak, but now you go into the Ravens, you got the Chargers coming up, the Packers obviously, but let's transition to the offensive side of the ball here. Obviously just a no-show for the offense against the Cowboys after like the third most yards in franchise history against the Panthers right before the bye. So just, it's crazy how we always come out of the bye flat every single year. But do you think the offense will be able to get back on track against this struggling and hurt Baltimore defense?
I would like to think it can only go up from where we were at last week. I think it was outside that first drive, just like that Browns game. Outside that first drive, it was just a putrid effort. Like
Yeah.
there was no life. We had how many 3-and-outs? We couldn't convert on any third downs whatsoever. So I feel like there's nowhere to go but up. So I would hope they're better, but at the same
Yep.
time, I still don't think it'll be like world beaters or setting the world on fire with this offensive attack right now, especially after the game we had last week. And I
Hmm.
don't think it'll resemble what we had in Carolina, but at the same time, I think it'll be a step in the right direction. And I think it'll have to be a significant step in the right direction if we're going to hang around in this game and actually have a real chance to win. So I would, I'd probably lean more towards it'll be a market improvement, but I don't know if it'll be enough to get the win or not.
Yeah. What I'm looking for personally is a big game out of Dalvin Cook. I
Yeah.
mean, the Carolina game was pretty good. I think he ran for like 140 yards and a touchdown.
Yep.
Arizona game was pretty good before he got dinged up. But I'm waiting for him to just have that true game where he just goes off 150 yards, couple touchdowns, catches a few passes. Like selfishly, I have him on my fantasy team, so I'd love him to do well. But
Yeah.
at the
For
same
sure.
time, it opens up the offense way more when Dalvin's cooking, and we need to feature Justin Jefferson more as well. I mean, just inexcusable. Only 2 catches last week, when CJ Ham had 3. I mean, the lack of featuring Justin Jefferson just some weeks just absolutely blows my mind. And like you said, I mean, we just had way too many 3-and-outs. If you can't sustain drives, then obviously guys aren't going to get the stats that they want and stuff like that. So it's all stuff that can be worked out. The Ravens defense really isn't that good. Then again, I didn't think the Cowboys was either, but I think it's an opportunity for this team to get back on track, at least offensively. I do think the defense will be more of a challenge in this game.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think realistically, the defense, I think it'll look rough again. I don't think we'll. I'd like to think we won't allow that many points per se, 'cause that's what it seems like the theme's been this year. But at
Hmm.
the same time, I think our offense is gonna have to have a pretty good day if we're, like I said, if we're gonna win this game.
For sure. So let's get into our score predictions here. I don't know. I don't even know if you've predicted them to lose a game yet in these weekly game previews. So what's your score prediction for this week?
Yeah, this is a tough one to say we're gonna win, so I'm not going to, and
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say we lose 27-23.
Okay.
I think it'll be tight. I think the Vikings will respond to a lot of adversity, and rightfully so, coming down on them this after as the aftermath of this last game against the Cowboys. I think they'll respond, but I just think at the end it'll come down to uh, really the Baltimore rushing attack being too much and getting the best of us, and that's going to put us down to what would that be 3-5 going into the next game against the Chargers. So 27-23 Ravens win.
I'm gonna say mine's very similar to yours. I'm gonna say 31-24.
Okay.
So yeah, a touchdown game. I think we'll be able to kind of keep up throughout the game with their offense, but in the end, it's just going to come down to Baltimore has the ball last. We simply can't make a stop, and they march down the field and win. I mean, that's how all these Vikings games have gone this year. Is comes down to the last possession, and the Vikings just can't quite get it done. And I think that's what's going to happen again this week. Honestly, I don't think it'll be a blowout because that's just the nature of this Vikings team. They don't get blown out. They play in close games, but until they prove they can finish a game to me, I just don't see it happening, especially against the Baltimore Ravens, who are looking pretty dang good right now in the AFC.
Yeah, and I will also add that if we're really going to win this game, though, I know we both saying we're going to lose, but thinking about the optimistic path towards a win, I would say we got to go into the fourth quarter with a lead because if we're playing down or playing from behind there in that fourth quarter, I think we're going to get iced because the Ravens will be able to burn so much clock with that run game that we won't have any time to really do anything. So we're going to need to
Yep.
play with a lead, especially in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Getting out in front and staying in front is so critical for this team. And
Mm-hmm.
they do get out in front, but they can't stay out in front because they don't put the pedal to the metal on offense. And when you're getting 3-and-outs and your defense is on the field a lot, obviously that changes everything. So
Exactly.
hopefully after the disappointing game last week, they're able to figure some things out. But man, I don't know. And now you got Rodgers, who's got COVID for the Packers, and it's like if the Vikings would have just beaten the Cowboys and been at 4-3, a couple games back of the Packers, Rodgers might miss the next couple games. Anything could happen, especially going into that Packers game in a couple weeks. Like such a huge missed opportunity.
I know, right? Yeah, a lot of Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but it's all for naught. And here we are at 3-4. Got to look forward and not behind. So
Yeah, it's Baltimore. It's what is it? The Baltimore Ravens. What does PJ Fleck call it? Baltimore Ravens season or championship week season or something.
the Baltimore Ravens championship season. Yes,
yes, that's what it is. So that's what it is for the Vikings this week. So that's the only focus. But got to get the PJ reference in there since he signed that nice extension today.
Oh yes, and after Zim gets fired here, or if he gets fired here, at the end of the season or sometime during the season, then PJ will probably be the longest tenured coach among these teams that we closely follow, me and you. So
yeah, that's a good point actually. But yeah, that's crazy to think about. Good for him. But yeah, that'll do it for this edition of the North Star Takes podcast. We'll have to see how the game goes Sunday. Obviously, we'll do another post game show as well. We'll go live and take comments, and maybe we'll even bring a few viewers on as well. Try and experiment with that. So if you have any interest in that, we'll put our email link at the bottom as well. So you send us an email and we'll send you a link. But yeah, until next time, thanks for watching, and feel free to give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram. Please hit that subscribe button and help us grow this channel for Minnesota sports fans. And if you're a Vikings fan, give this video a like. If you're hoping they win, give it a like. If you're hoping they lose and fire Zimmer, give it a like. That'd be fantastic. So until next time, thanks for watching.